Everybody, and a very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm delighted to be with you once again, and I am looking forward to Saturday because Saturday at Newmarket is Seeyouatmidnight Day. There's some very, very good racing taking place there, and indeed across the country, indeed the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's really good racing now across Britain and Ireland. Well, if you happen to be new to this service, please press the subscribe button just below the screen and you'll be getting all my tips for free and a reminder of when they're appearing. As I said, I'm going to focus on the Seeyouatmidnight meeting on Saturday, but I just want to very quickly go back to last Saturday when my each-way selection ran at Ascot, and that was River Nymph. And River Nymph was a very fast finishing fourth in the red-hot 7-furlong Ascot Heritage Handicap. And I'm pretty convinced that had he got the gap when he needed it, he would have gone very, very close to winning. He was boxed in for quite a while from about a furlong and a half out to just inside the final furlong. And when he got clear, he powered home. Thankfully, he did finish in the places. His SP was 17-2. So as long as you backed him each way, you'll have shown a little profit on that. So it was well worth joining me at Sportsbet last week. Now, do remember that if you want to catch all my recommendations this week, and they will include multiple tips on Friday, Saturday, and indeed on Sunday as well, where there's some good sport, including the Welsh Champion Hurdle meeting, then sign up for my premium service Out in Front. And this is streamed live. And that's the service where you can message me with your thoughts and comments on all sorts of things, including the tips that I'm putting up at that very moment. And you can ask all sorts of questions, and if I'm able to, I'll do my best to answer them. And as well as Saturday and Festival membership, which is an option, which is a lower tier, there's also the full membership, and that will include many Fridays and Sundays, as well as selected weekdays to go on with the Saturdays and the festival meetings. So there's a lot to look forward to. Hello, I'm Paul Alster. Since July 2020, my followers have enjoyed some really great success here with my regular Saturday and festival tips here at Sportsbet TV. Well, now I'm offering an enhanced tipping service called Out in Front, aiming for plenty of big odds selections on far more racing days. So to continue receiving my profitable and enjoyable each way and often long odds racing selections, sign up now on Patreon for my low-cost, brand new live tipping service where you can interact with me and ask questions and comment in real time. So signing up to Out in Front only takes 2 minutes. First, choose a membership, then sign up, add a payment method, and then you'll get all the benefits of being an Out in Front member. I can't wait to see you, so sign up to the new Out in Front real-time tipping service with me, Paul Alster. Well, Saturday the 8th of October at Newmarket is Godolphin Seeyouatmidnight Handicap Day. There are 23 runners in the second leg of the Autumn Double, and the advance going is forecast good, even though they said there may be 1 or 2 showers on Friday. I'm recording this bulletin for you on Thursday lunchtime, and the news broke just a couple of hours ago. Really sad news that Adagio, the horse that was the major anti-post gamble for the Seeyouatmidnight, from 25-1 down to around 5-1 favourite, a really smart hurdler, he very sadly collapsed and died on his final training run at David Pipe's Gallops this morning, Thursday morning. It's such a cruel blow. It just once again reflects the ups and downs of racing, as anybody that follows the sport regularly will know. So we send our commiserations to all connected with Adagio. And well, his absence now has shaken up the market somewhat. Now, looking at the race itself, only 2 of the last 8 winners have started at 10-1 or higher, which is a bit of a surprise for such a wide open handicap. And over the last 4 years, Willie Mullins has won 3, and Nicky Henderson has won last year, of course, with Buzz, who was 8-1. So the jumps trainers have been doing particularly well. So they have to be feared. And that's reflected in the reform market now in the absence of Adagio with a horse with no name, who is on a hat-trick after wins at Newbury and a very easy 5-length win at York last time. He's trained by Nicky Henderson. He's gone up £10 for his runaway win at York, but they booked Ryan Moore. He's going to go over an extra 2 furlongs, which he's never done before, but you'd expect he probably will stay, but you'd have to feel, or certainly I feel, given the way that I bet, looking for value at each way, wherever possible at double figures, that 4-1 favourite in a 23-runner handicap for a horse who's never done the distance is a little bit thin, but it doesn't mean he won't stay, of course. Now, one of the big hopes for Ireland is Charles Burns's Run for Oscar. Now, this is a gambling yard. For those of you that don't know, this is the yard that like to have a bet. And to be honest, they've been in trouble a few times with the authorities in Ireland. Indeed, Charles had to take a break from training for a while not so long ago, an enforced break. But he is a very, very talented trainer. There's no two ways about it. Now, this horse is a very decent hurdler, but he's also become useful on the flat. And they sent him over to Haydock last time out, and he won very easily in a 2-mile handicap, scoring by 4 lengths. He's gone up £8 for that. But as he stays 2 3/4 miles over hurdles, you'd think he will see out the 2 1/4 miles here, even at a strong gallop at HQ. He's around a 5-1 shot at the time of this recording. Now, for Scotland, Keith Dalgleish has Evaluation, who's done very well this season. He's won 4 staying handicaps and was only beaten a nose last time out in his quest for a 5th victory this term. That was over 1 3/4 miles, which is probably his bare minimum these days. And the way he races, there's every reason to believe he should stay. And as well as him, you've got the likes of Jim Boyle's Going Gone and Hughie Morrison's Vino Victrix, both of whom have a proper shout, I'd say, following good recent wins. But my selections in this race are as follows. Now, I've had a look at this race, and I believe that it's quite sensible to have a bet on my main selections, but also have maybe a little bit of a saver or split your stakes, because one of them is a nice each way price and the other one is a big each way price. Okay, so it's up to you. You'll go into the form book after this and have a look for yourself and decide which, if any of this pair you prefer, or maybe you prefer the horse that you've picked out yourself. Now, my first choice is Gibraltar, and Gibraltar is trained by Irish champion trainer Willie Mullins, who's won 3 of the last 4 renewals of this race, and he's booked Saffie Osborne, very good British apprentice rider, who of course won the Racing League top jockey title this season, and she claims £3. Now, this horse has really come into his own since stepping up in trip. He was campaigned at 1 1/4 and 1.5 miles, but of late they've stepped him up, and he won over 1 7 furlongs at Leopardstown in a handicap in July. And then he went to a very different track, Tramore in Ireland, which is a very sharp right-handed track, which probably didn't really suit him. It was a 2-mile handicap. He was £8 higher than his Leopardstown win. And although the race went against him on such a sharp track, he managed to get into top gear just approaching the final furlong. He mowed down the leaders and won going away. I think he'll be much better suited by the wide open galloping expanses of the Rolly Mile. And I think he won last time despite the track, not really because of it. There's every reason to believe, having just hit top gear over 2 miles last time out, that the extra 2 furlongs will suit. So I think he brings quite a lot to the table. And with Saffie Osborne, very good value for her £3 claim. He's going to run off a featherweight of just 8 stone 2. Now, that is a very low weight these days. We don't often see horses running in handicaps off 8 stone 2 these days. At the time of this recording, Gibraltar is 12-1 each way with Coral and Ladbrokes. Admittedly, they're only paying 4 places. Remember, this is Thursday lunchtime. The market's going to change and develop, possibly by the time you view this recording. I can tell you that 11-1 is available for 6 places with William Hills. It depends whether or not there's money for the horse as to whether there'll be bigger odds or better place options available. So do shop around and check your odds comparison sites. Now, the other horse I fancy in the race, and I'll be having a saver on this one, is called Land of Winter. And it's trained by Ray Guest at Newmarket, so just going to have to walk across the road to get to the track. and is the mount of the very talented young rider Thor Hammer Hansen, probably one of the best named jockeys we've had on the British scene for many a long year. Anyway, Thor is going to be aboard Land of Winter, who is a horse who is probably best suited by soft ground if you look at the overall picture of his form, but he does have form on good ground as well. And with the possibility of some showers at Newmarket on Friday, I'm hoping it's going to be no quicker than good. And you never know, there may be just a little bit of juice in the ground for him. Now, last year he ran in the Seeyouatmidnight, and he ran a funny old race. He raced quite prominently, and he completely lost his place with a mile to run, dropped right out the back before staying on to pass about 15 horses over the last half mile. And he eventually finished 11th of 32, which was very respectable. And that was off a £3 lower mark. Now, this year, he's run 3 times, only fair form, it has to be said, nothing more than that in his first 3 runs of 2022. But he really caught the eye last time out in a red-hot handicap at Chester. That was over 2¼ miles. It was just the other week, a couple of weeks ago. It was a £100,000 race, so it was a quality staying handicap over 2¼ miles. And having been squeezed out in the very early stages of the race, he was towards the rear before coming home very, very powerfully, and he was a proper eye catcher. Now, I think he's going to run well. Any rain, as I say, would help his cause. And the odds on offer at the time of this recording, the best odds are 4,040 to 1. And that is each way with corals for 4 places. If you prefer the better place option, at the time of this recording, Sky Bet go 33 to 1 for 7 places, and Bet UK are offering 33 to 1 for 6 places. But as I suggested with Gibraltar, by the time the market really forms and people are getting stuck in and the betting really gets going, there may be even better odds and better place terms available. So those are my 2 for the Seeyouatmidnight, the second leg of the autumn double on Saturday at Newmarket at 3:40. Gibraltar for Willie Mullins and Safi Osborne, and a saver on Land of Winter for Ray Guest and Thor Hammer Hansen. Just a quick reminder to check out the options available to signing up for my Out in Front service, which is going to be offering a lot of selections over the course of this weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and of course going forward. But that's it from me, Paul Alster at Sportsbet this weekend. I wish you the very best of luck, and I look forward to speaking to you at the same time next week. Bye-bye for now.